I lead an IT team and we support applications used by my company. We had a major outage and parts of our system were offline for a week. There were many things that caused this outage. Some of these were to do with issues within our team, but there were other factors that caused this outage that were very much outside our control. I'm going to have a review with my boss, so what's the best way to explain what happened without sounding like I'm making excuses?
Thank you. This is a great question. So, there's definitely a skill to talking about problems in a way that builds trust and takes responsibility, but still is authentic to your perception of what happened. And what you say is you want to convey that there were things that happened that caused this outage that were further outside your control. I think a really good way of talking about things that go wrong is to move away from language of blame and judgment and instead talk objectively in terms of your assessment of cause and effect and to what degree the cause and effects and outcomes were things that you could have anticipated or that could have been prevented should you improve your processes and procedures. So you might say something such as, there was a power outage in the server room due to a water spill, and now we've put measures in place to prevent this from happening in the future. Or maybe a member of our team who was in charge of that server was unexpectedly ill for 2 days, and from now on, we'll make sure that more than one team member has the knowledge around crucial processes that ensure uptime of the system. Sometimes you might perceive problems to be at least partly caused by actions of another party. So, for example, you might have been waiting on another team or person to deliver something that you needed. If you want to convey this to your boss, you can say something such as, there was time that was taken up while you were waiting for whatever it was, but next time you'll have a better communication process for reminders, chasing up, following up, etc. So regardless of the degree to which the problems were directly the faults of your team and things that you could have anticipated, you can always speak about what is in your control to do better next time and what steps you'll take to improve the processes so that it lessens the risk of such a thing happening again in the future. Another thing about discussing problems is that regardless of the extent to which something was the fault of you or your team, it's very important to acknowledge the impact that it had on your clients. And in this case, it sounds like your clients were the rest of the company. So that type of acknowledgement might sound like, I'm aware that what happened caused a great disruption, and I'm really sorry for all the extra time, effort, and stress it has caused the rest of the company due to the outage in our systems. So even when it's not directly the fault of you or your team, it's very important to acknowledge that you understand the impact that the situation overall had on the rest of the company. People who are impacted will really appreciate that you understood and showed human empathy for the impact the situation had on them.